Hello, hello. Welcome to day 20. Almost 3 weeks into this 30-day yoga challenge. Thanks for being here. I'm Laren. You can check out my site anytime at yellowumbrellayoga.com. Let's begin today's sun salutations lying down on our backs. Take a moment to settle in here, letting your entire spine be flat on the mat, taking any adjustments you need to make that happen. Knees can be bent facing the ceiling. And your feet can be flat on the mat, so your heels are just far enough away that you can dust the backs of them with your fingers, with your hands along your sides. And just begin to breathe more fully. No need to hurry up, just pay attention to your breath. Listen to the sound it makes, brushing over your palate. Cooling the back of your throat on an inhale. Warming the back of your throat on an exhale. You can place one hand on your heart, one hand on your upper belly, and just notice the wave created by that same ocean sound of your breathing. Inhale to lift your belly hand. Fill up more still, lifting your chest hand. Exhale, let both go. Continuing at your pace. When you're ready to start moving, reach both arms long up overhead, resting the backs of your hands on the mat. Take a deep breath in as you begin to press into both feet to lift your hips. Exhale, lower your spine one vertebrae at a time, setting your hips down last and lowering your arms to meet. Let's do that a few more times, pairing the movement with the breath. So inhale to lift and reach. Bridge pose. Hi, Jag. Inhale, reach your arms overhead, lift your hips, press into the tops of your shoulders, squeeze your glutes. Snake your spine back down, set your hips down last. Reach both hands along your sides. This time, make fists and pound your hands into the mat. Make your arms active and let this help you begin to lift. So inhale, pick up your hips and lift your heart right between your arms. Keep pressing into the backs of both arms. Inhaling, lifting any amount more. Exhale, lower. Take a breath, resting heavily. One more time. Lift up for bridge pose. We'll stay for a couple breaths. Once you've lifted, shift your weight into each shoulder blade one at a time, sort of walking your shoulders underneath you, maybe coming to clasp your hands underneath your seat. If you're able to take that clasping of your hands, squeeze your hands together and away from your seat, helping you lift your hips a little more. Let the back of your neck be long, maybe tucking your chin to help it a little as it presses into the mat. And release the clasp of your hands and slowly set your entire spine back down. Nice. Notice your breath. Hug both knees into your chest. Make a little ball. And rest your head and shoulders again on the mat. Place your left foot back on the mat. Extend your right foot to the sky. Clasp both hands behind on the back of your thigh. Try to find kind of the meaty part of your hamstring muscle. So not coming too close to the back of your knee or too close to your hip, but kind of finding the middle spot, the belly of the muscle, as we like to call it. And just clasp your hands right there. Keep breathing as you press your foot away, as though to stamp the sole of your foot on the ceiling. And really press the back of your leg into your clasped hands and create resistance with your hands as well. So press hands into leg and leg into hands. And really extend your heel towards the sky. Keep flexing your toes towards your shin. It's okay if your leg will not straighten all the way here. This may look like this. Just warming up the hamstrings a little bit. Start to pulse this a little bit. So bringing your foot towards you, inhaling, exhaling, pressing it away, lengthening the back of your leg, pressing your hands into your hamstring for a little extra slack in the muscle. Two more breaths, your pace, pulsing this stretch. I don't know if you can hear my dog playing with a squeaky toy. Apologies if so. Just accept the distracting noises if they're there. And refocus your attention on the task at hand. Release your right foot and leg to the floor. And lift your left leg now. Same thing, other side, stamping your foot as though to place it on the ceiling. Knee can be bent as much as needed. And clasp your hands in the middle of your hamstring on the back of your thigh. Exhale, press your foot away, really pressing your leg into your hands and your hands into your leg. Keep breathing and pulse here for a couple of breaths, getting slack in the muscle and then pressing away, using your clasped hands to lengthen your hamstring, keeping the stretch from occurring at the attachment points, whether that be behind your knee or at your hip. We want the middle of the hamstring to stretch out here. Nice. Finish the round you're on. Release your left foot to the floor and extend both legs long. Reach up high overhead, make a long line with your body. Take a deep inhale. And exhale, reach up, sit up. Kind of like Frankenstein, this can be slow. You might feel like a zombie if you're starting your morning. Keep reaching towards your toes. Find a fold here. You can rest both hands alongside your calves and shins if that's helpful. Think about bringing your heart towards your toes. You don't necessarily have to reach your entire body there. Inhale, sit up tall. Dig your heels into the mat and let your toes point towards the ceiling. It's okay if there's air underneath your knees if you need a bend there. Reach forward with your heart towards your toes one more time. And peel back down to the mat. Lay down. Inhale, reach long overhead. Exhale, reach up, sit up. Keep reaching toward your toes. Inhale, half lift, sit up tall. Exhale, melt your belly into your lap, sending your heart forward, fold toward your feet. Inhale, lift up, roll back, lay down. If you're like me, you find you're moving a little bit like an inchworm on your mat towards one end or the other. Feel free to adjust if you find you need more space to reach your hands overhead when you lay down. Take a deep, long breath in from nose to fingertips to toes. And reach up, sit up. Reach for your feet. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, roll back, lay down. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, reach up, sit up. Find your toes. Maybe smile at them. Inhale, sit up. Think tall thoughts. And exhale, melt forward, folding again. Inhale, roll back, lay down. Reach long. Tuck your knees into your chest and give them a hug. Maybe press your eye sockets into your knees. Begin to roll. Create momentum, kicking your feet. Come up to balance on your toes in a little squat. We call this toe balance. It's okay to just play on your way to this position. May or may not find your way to the floor in the meantime. Press into both feet, rise up to stand. Inhale, send your hands towards your sides. And heel toe your feet apart until they're about hips distance apart, maybe wider if you'd like a little more stability. Inhale, reach up high, think tall thoughts. Palms touch, hinge at your hips, dive forward. Bend your knees as needed. Find a forward fold. Inhale, half lift, hands to shins or lap. Neutralize any curve in your spine. And exhale, melt forward, fold again. Rest your torso on your lap. Nod your head yes. Plant both hands. Step back to downward facing dog. First one of the day, let this be soft. Maybe take your dog for a walk. Bend your left knee, press your right heel towards the mat. Notice your breath or your tendency to hold it. Switch your feet. Press your left heel towards the mat. Bend your right knee, lifting your right heel. Keep walking your dog, alternating heel presses and bent knees. And come down onto your knees. Find tabletop. Hands right under shoulders, knees right under hips. Spinal curvature neutralized as much as possible. Nice flat tabletop. From here, let's use a cat-cow for a vinyasa. So inhale, tip your hip points forward towards the floor, stretch your belly. Press the mat away, extending your long back of your neck towards the ceiling. Exhale as you tuck your tail, round your spine, press the mat away and tuck your chin. One more round. Inhale, stretch your belly towards the floor. Cow. Exhale, tuck your tail, round your back, tuck your chin. Cat. Send your hips towards your heels. Take child's pose. Spread your fingers wide. Really grip the mat. Notice its texture. Inhale, come onto your forearms. Tuck your toes. Press into hands and feet and lift your hips. Downward facing dog. And walk your feet to meet your hands at the front of your mat. And forward fold. Inhale slowly, roll up to standing. Nice. Pause in mountain pose. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lower your hips for chair pose. Imagining there's a chair slightly too far behind you. Keep breathing. Let the back of your neck be long. You can take prayer hands at heart center with your elbows wide to reduce the strain on your shoulders. Dive forward, hinge at your hips. Find a fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold. Plant your hands, step back, find downward facing dog. Lower to your knees for tabletop. This time take bird dog. Extend your right arm and left leg long. Exhale, place both back on the mat. Inhale, left hand, right foot, lift. Reach long. Return both to the mat. Inhale, reach your left leg long again, behind you. Take a big step forward between your hands. Stack your ankle right underneath your knee. And when your foundation is set, lift up both hands, reach to the sky, kneeling warrior one. Take a breath here. Maybe let your hips become heavy and center towards your front foot. On an exhale, place both hands on the mat on either side of your front foot. And send your left foot back, reaching long behind again. And returning to tabletop. Take bird dog again. Reach your right hand and left foot long for a vinyasa. Reach your left hand and right foot now, other side. Continuing to build warmth in our sequence. Now inhale, reach your right leg long behind you. Take a big step forward and plant it between your hands. Again, stack your ankle under your knee. And when you're ready, lift both hands, reach up to the sky. Warrior one on the other side, kneeling down. Inhale here. Exhale, maybe let your hips be a little heavier towards your front foot, lunging a little more. You can inchworm your front foot forward if needed. Plant both hands, framing your front foot, and send your right foot away behind you, reaching long again. Back to tabletop. Reset your alignment. And send your hips toward your heels for child's pose. Come onto forearms, tuck your toes, send your hips to the sky, down facing dog. And walk your feet to meet your hands, forward fold. Inhale to lift, roll up to standing. Pause in mountain pose. Thumbs turn outward. Spread your fingers wide. Let your palms shine forward. Inhale, lift your hands, reach up high. Exhale, lower your hips. Send them down and back. Let your knees point straight in the same direction as your toes. Take prayer hands if that feels better. Work towards neutralizing any curvature in your spine, just like you would in your half lift from your fold. When you're ready, dive forward, send your hips high, take your forward fold. Inhale to half lift. Again, neutralizing your back, making it flat. And exhale, fold. Step both feet back for downward facing dog. Shift forward for plank. Option to take bird dog or cat cow here instead. We'll move through a regular vinyasa otherwise. Keep your elbows in close and lower to your belly. Inhale, inflate to lift for cobra. Exhale, lower. Tuck your toes. Inhale to lift, press up for plank. Exhale, send your hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Your heels can be lifted, or you can shorten your stance to bring them to the mat. Whatever you'd like. Inhale, lift your right foot, press it to the sky. Take a big step forward with bent knee. Find runner's lunge. Set up your feet for warrior one, sending your left toes out about 45 degrees behind you. Towards 10 o'clock, we'll say. Press into both feet, rise up, lift up, breathe in, warrior one. You can scoot your back foot back if you'd like a slightly deeper bend in your right leg in front. Exhale, dive forward, frame your front foot, send your right foot high to the sky, three-legged dog. And lower it to the mat. Optional vinyasa, shift forward for plank. Lower to your belly for chaturanga. Untuck your toes. Inhale to lift for cobra. Exhale, lower. Tuck your toes, press up for plank. Exhale, send hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left foot. Exhale, big step forward. Runner's lunge. Set up your back foot for warrior one, sending toes towards 2 o'clock. Press onto both feet, lift your hands, reach up, warrior one. Exhale, dive forward, frame your front foot. Step back with your right, send your left foot to the sky. Lower your left foot, shift forward for plank, shoulders over wrists. Back of your neck is long. Keep elbows close, graze your rib cage, lower slowly to your belly. Inhale, lift up, cobra. Keep pressing, extending through your arms. Find upward facing dog by pressing into the tops of your feet to lift your knees. And exhale, lower back down. Tuck your toes, press up for plank. And send your hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Walk your feet towards your hands in a fold. Inhale, roll up, stand up. Let's finish out with a couple more rounds of Sun Salutation A. Focusing less on the warrior stance in the sequence and just revisiting the vinyasa with a couple folds. Inhale, reach up. Palms touch, dive forward, exhale. Inhale, half lift. Maybe tuck your tail to neutralize any dumping forward, creating curvature in your spine. Exhale, fold. Step or float back with both feet. Send your hips high, downward facing dog. Shift forward for plank, vinyasa. Keeping warmth in the body. Chaturanga. Untuck your toes. Inhale, inflate, lift up, peel up. Upward facing dog. Peel down. Tuck your toes. Lift for plank. Exhale, hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. Shrug your shoulders towards your ears and then send them away from your ears. Walk your feet to meet your hands, forward fold. You can bend your knees as needed. Inhale, roll up to standing. Thumbs turn outward, deep breath in, reach your fingertips toward the floor. Exhale here. Inhale, imagine drawing air out of the earth right through your feet, sending it out your fingertips as you reach up high above. Feel the warmth of both hands as you connect palms and center. Slice the air, diving forward, hinging at your hips. Pour your belly into your lap. Rest your heart on your knees as much as helpful. Nod your head yes. Plant both hands. Spread your fingers wide. Notice the texture of the mat. Become springy in your lower body, bending in your knees, preparing to either step or hop back to downward facing dog. Once you're there, shift forward, shoulders over wrists. Find plank. Keep your elbows close, bending them straight back for chaturanga. Untuck your toes. Inhale, lift up. Press into both hands. Extending your arms, pressing into your feet to lift your knees, upward facing dog. Squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you. Draw your belly button in, trying not to spill your guts forward. Lower to the mat. Tuck your toes. Press up for plank. Send your hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Maybe hop one more time, sending your feet towards your hands, like a little frog. Send your hips towards the sky. Press into both feet. Inhale to roll up. Reach up. Make snow angel arms, sending wide fingers out to both sides. And slowly reaching towards the floor. Keep reaching like you're gonna bring the floor up towards your fingers. Let this help create space between your shoulders and your ears. One more deep breath in. Exhale, sigh it out. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow for the 3-week mark of our 30-day yoga challenge. Take care.